Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Gentlemen, today I want to speak to the man who is ready to step into his power. The man who wants to be remembered, not just noticed. Let's be honest, most men move through this world confused about what truly makes a woman choose them. They chase, they impress, they perform, and yet something is always missing. Because attraction, my dear gentlemen, is not about tricks, rehearsed lines, or carefully planned gestures. It's about energy. It's about the presence you bring into a room and the vibration you hold within yourself. The unforgettable man understands that his power doesn't come from what he does. It comes from who he is. When a man walks into a room grounded, sure of himself, calm in his energy, everything changes. The air shifts. The space feels different. The woman across the room may not even understand why she's drawn to him, but she feels it in her bones. That is not magic, that is mastery. True attraction starts with confidence, not arrogance. Confidence is quiet. It doesn't shout. It doesn't need validation. It's a man's inner knowing, the certainty that no matter what happens, he remains enough. And gentlemen, when a woman senses that kind of confidence, something within her awakens. She begins to imagine what it would feel like to be near you, to trust you, to experience your calm energy up close. Confidence speaks a language beyond words. It tells her, this man knows himself. And that right there is the beginning of desire. But confidence alone is not the full story, because once you've captured her attention, the next step is connection, and that, gentlemen, is where most men fail. They talk, but they don't connect. They ask questions, but they don't listen. They fill the silence with noise instead of presence. A woman's heart opens not when you speak the loudest, but when you listen the deepest. Ask her what drives her, what scares her, what she dreams about when the world gets quiet. And when she answers, listen, not to respond, but to understand. When a woman feels seen, truly seen, her guard drops. She feels safe, and safety, gentlemen, is the foundation of attraction. Because when she trusts you with her emotions, her body follows naturally. She thinks, if he can hold my heart gently, he can hold me. That is emotional intimacy. That is the moment when attraction shifts from curiosity to chemistry. But then comes the art that too many men misunderstand, the art of touch. Touch is not just physical, it's communication, it's energy. And if done right, it builds an invisible current between you. The man who rushes, who grabs, who forces, loses her instantly. But the man who touches like he's speaking a silent language with respect, with patience, with awareness, he creates tension so magnetic that she cannot resist. Imagine this laughter between you, her hand brushing yours for just a moment. You don't rush to grab, you let that spark linger. Imagine walking side by side, your hand gently guiding her through a doorway. Imagine sitting close, your knee grazing hers. Each small, respectful touch builds anticipation. Each one whispers, I see you. I feel you. I'm here. And she will feel that. Because touch, when offered as an invitation instead of a demand, awakens a desire far more powerful than any words could ever create. Now, let's talk about leadership. One of the most misunderstood pillars of attraction. Leadership is not domination, it's direction. It's not control, it's clarity. Women are drawn to men who move with purpose, who know what they want, who can create an atmosphere of certainty. When you hesitate, when you constantly seek her approval, when you make her decide every move, her attraction fades. But when you lead with quiet authority, suggesting where to go, taking initiative, showing that you have vision, she relaxes. Because leadership tells her, you can trust me. And when a woman trusts your direction, she naturally leans into your energy. She softens. She surrenders to the moment. And in that surrender, attraction deepens. But here's where most men lose the game. They forget the power of mystery. The moment you reveal everything about yourself, you take away the curiosity that keeps her fascinated. Mystery doesn't mean playing games or hiding who you are. It means pacing your story. It's about letting her discover you layer by layer, not all at once. When a woman looks at you and thinks, there's something about him I haven't figured out yet, her mind races. She becomes intrigued, and intrigue turns into desire. She'll want to explore you, your thoughts, your world, your energy. And sometimes that exploration leads her straight into intimacy, not because you persuaded her, but because she feels compelled to understand the mystery you embody. Desire thrives on discovery. So keep your energy sacred, reveal, but never overexpose. Let her come closer, piece by piece. And now let's address the most sacred part of it all, respect. Respect is the foundation of every powerful connection. Too many men see intimacy as a conquest, a victory, a trophy. But when you approach a woman with genuine respect, everything changes. When she feels your respect, she feels safe. When she feels safe, she opens. Respect tells her that you value her not just for her beauty, but for her essence, her mind, her energy, her being. And paradoxically, it's that respect that often makes her want you even more. Because when she realizes that you don't just want her body, you want her, she begins to trust that her vulnerability won't be used against her. Respect makes her feel free to say yes, not out of pressure, but out of passion. So imagine this. A man walks into her world with quiet confidence. He doesn't try to impress. He speaks little but listens deeply. He leads with intention, touches with care, reveals just enough to keep her curious, and above all, he respects her. He becomes the calm in her storm, the energy she didn't know she craved, and before the night ends, she's no longer thinking about time, rules, or what's expected. She's thinking, this man makes me feel alive. And in that moment, she chooses him not because he asked. Not because he convinced, but because his energy spoke to her soul. Sometimes it takes days. Sometimes, gentlemen, it takes only one night. Because when you embody presence, respect, and power, intimacy becomes inevitable. Attraction is not about chasing, begging, or convincing. It's about becoming. Becoming the man who doesn't need to prove himself. Becoming the man whose energy speaks louder than words. Becoming the man who understands that when you master your presence, your energy, and your respect, she will come to you. You won't have to push. You won't have to persuade. She will lean in because your energy calls her. She will choose you because your presence makes her feel safe, desired, and seen. And when that happens, gentlemen, she will remember you not as the man who wanted her, but as the man who awakened something within her. So today, decide to rise. Decide to become that man. The one who doesn't chase energy but creates it. The one who doesn't seek validation but embodies value. The one who doesn't manipulate but magnetizes. That, gentleman, is the secret, not tricks, not games, just pure energy, pure presence, and pure respect. And when you learn to live that way, you won't just experience attraction, you'll become unforgettable.